Today I want to talk about mutants. You know, X-Men, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hulk, Captain America, even dog people. Just look up St. Christopher. He looks pretty interesting, but save that for another video. Anyways, these guys all have something in common. They're all extremely jacked and they came from some miraculous thing that changed them. And most of the time, that thing is green. In the case of the Hulk, he turns green from these, in the movies, it's this green fluid, whatever, is injected into him. Captain America, he just goes into a vat, whatever, and is magically transformed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they are all green. And I mean, the best one, The Secret of the Ooze, it's about a green ooze. I mean, they just keep showing you over and over again. And then even Superman, right? Think of that name, Superman, okay? When did the Superman story originate? 1938. That is in the middle of World War II, obviously, we all know that, right? But that's also the same time frame as this whole Captain America storyline as well. And we know that the Germans were experimenting on things, right? Well, it gets much deeper than that. They were experimenting with radium. You know who owned where the largest quantity of radium is on the entire plane T? Colorado. All right. You know who owned all the radium in the US? The Germans. So, and also Nikola Tesla, he kind of retired in Colorado. You can look more into that. Pretty interesting. But like I was saying, the Germans owned all of the radium in the US. And the US was like, well, we want to take that back. We want that stuff because we see that it's kind of interesting substance. So enter World War I, and then as that progresses, we get to World War II. I mean, they even show us in Captain America, the movie, the Marvel movies with Red Skull. You know, I mean, he magically morphs into this super jacked being, and the Red Skull, I mean, clearly they're depicting like German-Russian collaboration where, I mean, I guess it's probably not really German, but whatever. It gets a little blurry because it's the movies, but that they were just experimenting, that the Hydra stuff, I mean, it's right there in our faces. And what they were actually doing, these Germans, was they were experimenting with radium. Like I said, they would inject horses with radium. And then the horses would grow insane muscles, double in size overnight. And they would take out the blood from the horses and they would just inject it into humans. And these humans would turn into super soldiers. I mean, Captain America, the Hulk, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what are they all, giant and ripped? I mean, even with the Winter Soldier, I mean, he's just not exactly an extreme example, but I mean, another thing where you're creating a soldier during this time frame. So we subconsciously know that these soldiers were being made during this time frame, but we focus on some other stuff like the J's. And then once radium is starting to get known about, not that it wasn't known about before, but right, like they're starting to see this potential for it, well then let's end it with a bang, right? Let's drop two nukes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, scare everyone from using radium again. Kind of weird to me that the people that lived in Hiroshima, they moved back in 3 days after the bomb droppings. I'm not saying it was fake. I'm saying that these are just massive TNT bombs that were dropped and destroyed a bunch of the area, because isn't there like a pretty long half-life? Sure, let's say, you know, compared to the Chernobyl thing, it doesn't last as long because it's just one explosive. But I think it has a little bit longer half-life than 3 days. A little bit weird. So anyways, that gives PTSD. People are not going to mess with radium anymore. They're terrified of it. Say we may retouch on it. Well, then you have Chernobyl. And then now people are permanently scared of radium, uranium. I mean, it's that green, the glowing green. Even look at Avatar, the blue people, right? What does everything on that planet do? It glows. There's a bioluminescence to it. It glows because it's radium rich. And what is everything? Everything there is bigger. Everything grows really well too. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say on the whole 100% it's not a bad thing, but it gets a bad rap. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. But anyways, that's just a short, this is just a short video about mutants and how many times they showed us in movies. The color green, the jacked size, even X-Men I barely touched on, but X-Men, they all have different powers. I mean, there's just so much experimentation that was going on, and it all comes back to radium. Maybe not in the case of the dog people, but when you start looking back in older texts, you start to see a bunch of different looking people, like people with only one leg, people with a head in the center of their chest. It gets pretty out there. Even Dr. Moreau, that's like a movie from like the 1950s. This dude was just, I mean, this is a movie, and they just blatantly tell you this guy was experimenting on people and making different things, chimeras really. But no way, that's not ethical. That stuff happens. So just wanted to kind of bring that to light and show you how evident it is even in our cartoons and in our movies, and we know about it and they're telling us about it, but you got to be able to read between the lines. Best time to be alive. Gotta end it with that every time. Best time to be alive, because this is all coming to light and the frequency is rising higher and higher. That comes with truth. This is stuff you couldn't know about decades ago. I wouldn't say couldn't know about, but to the average person, you couldn't go find out this information. Either people weren't talking about it, but if they did, they were too scared to talk about it. The platforms weren't made for people to spread about it. That's why it's the best time to be alive, of many reasons. One of many. But the age of truth is here. It won't be long. I mean, long in a relative sense. People can't even lie anymore. That is why the truth is coming to light of everything, because people will only be able to tell the truth. That's exciting. If you're not excited by that, you're crazy. It's the most exciting time to be alive. That's it.